Okay, we're back, and now we're going to use the ProPalate kit to attempt to decode a Diamond Crown Julius Caesar cigar by the legendary Julius Caesar, your father.
Grandfather.
Grandfather, okay. I stand corrected.
And Carlos Fuente was instrumental in making the blend.
Okay. All right, so first thing we're going to do is a pre-light smell of the wrapper. And you're going to ask yourself, what aroma are you picking up? So on the floral, herbaceous, citrus, are you picking up any of those? Dried fruit, lemon, herbaceous, fresh hay, or floral?
I hate to say it, but it's like this maybe fresh hay.
Absolutely. Okay, so that's pleasing, very pleasing, right?
The vanilla?
No, the
fresh hay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very pleasing aroma. But you had a negative association with it. You didn't want to call...
Don't want to call our cigars fresh hay.
Right. It doesn't sound good. But there's also dried out hay. It doesn't smell good. Fresh hay has a beautiful aroma. You know,
I know what you... Freshly cut hay.
Yeah.
Almost like freshly cut grass. And it's special...
Yeah.
We don't have grass in cigars, but you have there's something special.
Herbaceous. Okay, well, let's confirm your observation.
There's a connection.
Okay, great. Are you sensing a leather or barnyard?
I think about leather.
Okay.
I was thinking about leather.
I'm going to leave this on the board.
Same church, different pew.
Okay.
So that's, where does it go?
Right here. Now, are you familiar with the term barnyard?
Not for a cent.
Okay. I'm sure you've seen it in reviews.
Yeah.
That's a misunderstood term by a lot of people. Let me explain why.
I can understand. You go in a barnyard, it has a aroma to it.
Right.
Sometimes it's pleasant.
Right.
Sometimes that depends which way the wind's blowing.
Okay, in a well-maintained horse barnyard, the aroma is nice, and here's why. You have several beasts that weigh 2,000 pounds plus, and they sweat, okay? And they have an odor. And then you have a sweet feed that they eat, and a lot of it ends up on the ground, okay? Sweet feed. Sweet feed is grains with molasses. And then you have all that mixed in, but you don't have a pile of manure. The barn is cleaned out often. I've been in many nice barns, especially if you go to the horse races and you get invited back to walk through the barns. It smells beautiful. The leather from the saddle and the horse. Okay, so there's a touch of barnyard in this cigar for me. And I want you to smell this barnyard, and I want you to think about a clean horse stable.
Clean horse stable.
Like one at the races.
Delightful.
Now smell the cigar.
This is the closest one so far of these different scents. And I would never have believed it.
Okay, interesting.
Barnyard.
All right, now we're going to do a draw. We're going to draw air through the unlit cigar.
Okay.
This is a flavor bomb. Even before it's lit, you can tell that we're in for a treat.
You have a more sensitive palate than I do. Which, I mean, this is like a whole board here.
I think of black pepper. It has a nice bright top note.
Let me try it.
Okay. Real fresh black pepper has a fruitiness to it, along with a bright top note.
I think the intensity here is so much greater
Okay.
than I would sense in our Julius Caesar.
Okay, and with intensity, let me check. Yeah, so this is very intense. So you just hold it further away from your nose.
Try again.
Yeah.
Yep. There's definitely a connection there.
Okay, wonderful. How about nutmeg? How familiar are you with nutmeg?
Love it for holiday time. There again, I got to pull away from my nose. It has to slow the intensity down. After reading all those reviews by cigar aficionado over all these years, I see the connection.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay, well, let's slide up and see what happens. Okay, so instead of just trying to shoot darts at a large target, why don't we start with categories?
Okay.
So in the floral, herbaceous, citrus, dried fruit, what are you sensing? And let me say something that's very important. Every cigar is not going to have 20 references. So if there's nothing there, there's nothing wrong with this cigar. Lighter cigars lean more towards one side of the board. Heavier cigars, fuller body, lean more towards the other. So don't try to find something that's not there. And
No, I don't, what is a
herbaceous.
what does that taste like? Can't even pronounce it. Can't even spell either.
It's funny you picked that because there's heavy herbaceous in there for me. You picking up herbaceous?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the herbs have a resinous, piney note to them. Plus it's earthy. Yeah. Okay, so very good. Herbaceous.
Okay.
A little bit of dry fig. Fuente is famous for having dry fig aroma in their blends and in their tobaccos, and it might be the way they ferment their tobaccos. But let's see if you can find the dry fig.
My Fig Newton again.
So that's your association, Fig Newtons. Don't exhale first. Don't keep the smoke in your mouth.
Okay.
Yeah. And give your okay. Let's slow down. If you smoke and then smoke and smell, you get palate fatigue. Yeah. So. You smelled the fig,
Yep.
right? Okay. Now just think about what you smelled.
Here's a connection there.
There's a connection. Okay. Okay, now let's go to the aromatic category. In aromatic, we have black pepper, cedar, anise, cinnamon, and nutmeg.
Let me try the C cedar.
Yes.
See what that's like. I would like to see it just come out of an aged cedar room. cedar aging room.
Yeah.
It was cedar. It's cedar here.
Definitely cedar. And I would like you to smell the anise first, and not too close, because don't forget, you're an ultra sensitive DNA. So we're looking for nuances in the cigar.
Subtle flavors.
Yes, subtle.
It's there. Do you have licorice on this?
Excuse me?
Do you have licorice on your board?
Okay, well, anise, what gives licorice its flavor is the anise that they add with it. If you eat pure licorice, it doesn't have that licorice taste that we associate with.
This reminds you of licorice.
Definitely, yeah.
It's got this, that's
Okay, so if you buy real licorice, it's licorice root with anise, and the anise is like a flavor activator. Okay, if I gave you pure licorice, you probably wouldn't recognize it. Okay, so all the licorice that all licorice that you buy has anise in it, unless you buy pure licorice, which is very difficult to buy, and it's used in holistic medicine. The licorice root is bitter, and it doesn't have the flavor and the aroma that we associate with it.
a minute ago you stressed upon nuances. It's all nuances. And that's a trained, it takes some training to train your palate to discover all the nuances, and you think about it, and you practice it. And your kit here helps me to focus and separate in my brain and connect my brain to my palate. What exactly am I experiencing?
Yeah.
No different than tasting food. Chefs must do the same thing.
Right. I'm going to have you sample the nutmeg and then sample the cigar.
Okay.
And again, this is aromatic, so
Not too
bring
close.
it to your nose slowly.
There's a connection there. Especially keeping away from my nose.
Yeah. Okay, now we're going to go to the earthy and roasted category to see which ones we can identify. Barnyard, musty, aged leather, roasted nuts, or charred wood.
Let me try the roasted nuts again.
Okay.
Definitely there. Subtle nuances here.
Yes. Yeah, I'd like you to try the aged leather.
It's there too. You have quite a palate, young man.
No, you blended quite a cigar here.
No, you're able to pick up on these. You have a lot of choices here.
Yeah. And we're not picking everything.
Yeah.
We're picking the ones that we find. Also, I'd like you to try the charred wood.
I love charred wood. Campfire. Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
It's there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you pick these. You know.
I've had a little more practice than you. I got 2 years.
It's not your first rodeo.
No. Okay, now we're going to move to the, do you need some water?
Yeah.
I need some too. This is easy with this cigar. A lot of cigars, you know, you might have one in each category, or in some categories you have none. But this cigar that you selected today, it makes this easy for a taster.
Thank you. Compliments to our partner, Carlos Fuente. It's funny, Carlos is, during the cigar boom, everybody wanted stronger cigars. After a while, you start out mild, they want stronger, stronger, stronger. His thinking is, you don't want to make a stronger cigar, you want to make a cigar with more flavor. And there's a difference between strength and flavor. But it's discovered over time. And palates change. We were having a discussion earlier today. We're going to make a new cigar with Cameroon Wrapper. Originally, Cameroon, spicy, not overpowering taste, but taste Cameroon. You have to have a blend that doesn't overpower the taste of Cameroon. A lot of tobaccos now give cigars more body. It comes from Nicaragua, fuller flavor. We want to be careful that we don't overwhelm the wrapper flavor. But how'd that taste?
That's where the blender comes in and has to have an exceptional palate, very sensitive to the different nuances. A lot of the stuff we're doing right now, blenders do this intuitively.
They've done it. You'd be a good blender yourself. Smoke enough cigars. You know where it comes from.
Okay, let's move to thank you. I appreciate that. I know enough about Eric, I know enough about the cigar industry to know that I do not want to be a cigar maker.
Well, I know I don't want to be a bold maker, so does that make us even?
That makes us even. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way, because there's an expression that you're probably aware of. If you want to have $1 million stake in the cigar industry,
Start with $2 million?
yeah. Okay, let's go to the complex category. We have dark chocolate, dark roasted coffee, vanilla, caramel, and graham cracker.
Let me try the coffee dark roast to see what it's like.
Okay.
Didn't do that earlier.
Now blow the smoke out and wait a few seconds and then sample.
I think there's a connection there.
Yeah. I'm picking up strong vanilla. So, and the vanilla's
The one that's $400 a pound?
400.
400. From Madagascar. Very subtle. It's not. It's there, but I get the more of a coffee than the
Okay.
vanilla.
So we're going to give vanilla half a point.
Half a point. Okay.
And I want you to try the dark chocolate.
My wife loved dark chocolate. To show you, my palate isn't all that good. I like milk chocolate. A true connoisseur of chocolate thinks milk chocolate is kind of a pussy flavor. So. It's there too. It's there.
Would you give that a full point?
I would give it a yes. Full point.
And we have two other options, caramel and graham cracker.
I'll try graham cracker. I haven't had that before.
How many years has it been since you have eaten graham cracker?
Well, key lime pie with a graham cracker crust.
So, okay.
It's a Florida dessert. This is not as intense as the graham cracker. It says graham cracker. But there's a connection there. I give it a point too. A point as well.
Full point.
Yep.
All right, we have one left, caramel. I mean, in the mouth taste, are you feeling a sweetness in your mouth taste? And what are you feeling in your mouth right now?
Different flavors.
Is it sweet, sour, salty, or bitter?
More sweetness.
Okay, in the mouth, you can only taste 5 things: sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and savory. Savory is referred to in the food industry as umami, meaning delicious. Okay, so in the retrohale, as a little smoke goes through your nasal cavity, that's where you pick up all the other nuances.
Carlos Fuente is big on blowing smoke through his nose because he's a master. I've not developed that technique yet. With my taste buds, everybody's taste buds, I can tell cigar smokers, unlike cigarettes, your taste buds are at the back of your tongue. You don't inhale cigars. To get the flavor, it's the back of your tongue. And I don't blow it out through my nose either.
Okay, if you're tasting more than 5 things, then some smoke is getting into your nasal cavity. In your nasal cavity, we have what's called the olfactory bulb. And that's where our taste receptors are. There's thousands and thousands of them. And they say that a human can identify up to 10,000 different aromas. Not name them, but just know that one is not the other. Okay, so if you're tasting more than sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and savory, then you are getting smoke up into your nasal cavity. Now everyone has a different sensitivity to retrohale. Some people can do a forced retrohale and it doesn't burn, it doesn't sting. Other people do it and it feels very uncomfortable. So again, if you're sensing more than sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and savory, smoke is getting into your nasal cavity where your olfactory bulb is.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's in the book, Cigar Bliss. Have you read the book yet?
No, I have not. I read your notes.
It hasn't come out yet, but I appreciate you reading the notes. So, the caramel, I think it's important that you sample that bottle because it just might be a slam, grand slam.
Half a point.
Yep. Okay, so if we look at the board, we can see that this cigar is definitely complex. And you knew that before we started the evaluation. But now you can see it out. It's mapped out. In the lighter notes, we have herbaceous and dried fig. In the aromatic, we have cedar, anise, and nutmeg. In the earthy and roasted, we show aged leather, roasted nuts, and charred wood. In the complex, we have dark chocolate, we have dark coffee, we have a half a point of vanilla, half a point of caramel, and graham cracker. So would you say that we decoded this Diamond Crown using the ProPalate training system?
I think we absolutely have. and also deprogram my palate as well, because I'm amazed you're able to accomplish that with Manolo and some other cigar manufacturers at the trade show. You have to clear your palate, clear your brain, clear the stresses, just be like we're doing here. You cannot do this in the course of a normal day. I can't anyway. That's what's special about smoking cigars in a smoking lounge. With you just focusing on the pleasure of the moment, with the cigar you're enjoying. Hopefully it's a Diamond Crown or Fuente or any good cigar. It's a very special, unique experience, just like tasting foods. And tasting wine is the same. You're awakening your senses, awakening my senses. So I thank you for this. I want to practice.
Good, good. I appreciate you having me today and allowing me to show you the kit.
Well, the nuances of cigar taste is not one of my strengths. I know what I like. We try different blends. I know what I like, what the flavor is. I don't even get in the weeds like this. I know what I like, what I don't like, but now I could practice this method, and I use it to help develop more blends that people like.
You think this could help you realize why you like the cigars you like and the
It does,
blends you like?
definitely, because I know what I like, I know what I don't like, but I never got into detail what I like about it, what I don't like about it.
And what you're going to find is that certain taste associations resonate more with you than others. You're going to see that over and over. And when you're sitting down with another taster, you'll see that different nuances resonate more with them. And that's why there's so many different great blends out there. Because as individuals, we all have different preferences.
And different palates. My brother's got a different palate. He's got a better palate than I do. It's funny, you give the same cigar to three people, you get three different reactions because they're all different palates.
A lot of it has to do with your references. Remember in the beginning we said that if you don't have a reference, then you can't have an association.
Yeah.
So when your references are established, a lot of times in our youth, they may be in a positive environment or a negative one. Okay? If you were forced to eat cinnamon rolls and you didn't like them, you would have a negative association with cinnamon, so that would turn you off.
Fig Newton, love them.
Love them. So if there's fig Newton, if there's dried fig in a cigar, you're going to find it, and it's going to make you happy.
Vanilla too.
And vanilla.
Vanilla is the most of our foods, isn't it?
Yes.
And
Vanilla is a flavor enhancer. It's the most used spice in all foods. Even Coca-Cola has it. Even Gatorade has it. It's a flavor enhancer. So if the right amount is put in a food product, you won't taste the vanilla. It just elevates the flavor nuances that that product has. And 98% of all the vanilla that's used in foods is imitation vanilla.
Thank you for this opportunity to explore my palate. I've learned a lot and look forward to doing more of this.
Great. We always enjoy having the opportunity to talk with you, and
we'll do it again.
let's do it again. So you've heard it from Eric Newman, or J.C. Newman. We decoded the Diamond Crown using the ProPalate system.
The Julius Caesar.
The Julius Caesar. And want to thank you for being here today.
I've been in this business 48 years. I know what I like. I know what I don't like, but I never knew why I liked it or why I didn't like it. And it's almost like closing your eyes, being able to remove everything from the outside world. What do you sincerely enjoy about that cigar? What taste, what flavors, what nuances in there, they all contribute to my enjoyment of the cigar. I knew I enjoyed it, I just didn't know exactly why. Now I do, so I thank you for opening my mind, discovering my palate, This is a learned behavior. I don't think it's natural. It's there. Listen, you have to practice it. But I look forward to smoking more cigars and remembering this experience and how I can apply this knowledge to crafting new blends that other people like as well. So thank you for it.
You're welcome. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you,
It's been a
Nick.
pleasure.
Thank you, Nick.
We've heard it from Eric Newman. This is Nick Coutreau, the creator of the ProPalate and author of the book Cigar Bliss. Look forward to seeing you again in the near future. Goodbye now.